Hi, this is Jenna Powell, and this is my presentation on David Corns, the set designer of Beetlejuice the Musical. So, who's ever seen a movie by Tim Burton? Probably all of us. The name might sound familiar to you, but you probably don't realize just how many of his films you've actually seen. So here are some of his most well-known movies. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride, Alice in Wonderland, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Beetlejuice, and more. David Corns is the set designer for Beetlejuice the Musical and used Tim Burton's style to make an eccentric set that comes to life on stage with the collaboration of lighting designers, actors, and many others. In this presentation, I will go over how David Corns expertly used Tim Burton's work as inspiration for the set of Beetlejuice and how he instrumented tremendous detail into the set to make it a viewing experience for the audience. Some backstory about the show will be helpful in understanding the worlds of Beetlejuice, the Dietzes, and the Maitlands. The story of Beetlejuice is the story of Lydia Dietz, a strange and unusual teenager who just lost her mother, making her obsessed with the whole death thing. She moves into a house with her father that is haunted by a recently deceased couple, meaning the Maitlands, who are trying to learn how to scare out the occupants of their house to get their home back. Beetlejuice claims to be a demon from hell who needs a living person to say his name 3 times in order for him to be seen by all living and wreak havoc on their world. He also says he will help the recently deceased couple learn to scare out the occupants of their home. Due to the story being split between 3 perspectives, being the Dietzes, the Maitlands, and Beetlejuices, Corns had a difficult task at hand. He created 4 different sets for the scenes set at the house alone that had to be moved multiple times throughout the play. Each time there was a set change, everything was changed, like everything. The lighting, every single wall fixture, the balustrade, the doors, all of the furniture, everything. Each set represented a different world. One was for the Dietzes, one was for the Maitlands, one was for Beetlejuice, and there was also like another set in Beetlejuice's world where it was like a game show, but that was in Beetlejuice's world. So the Maitlands' house was a very controlled color palette with like greens, maroons, purples, and this made the characters really pop off the stage. The Dietzes' home was very slick and modern with sharp angles that just didn't feel very homely. Corns wanted Beetlejuice's world to be very dark, so he used colors like black, gray, purple, like a deep purple to represent like the spooky, haunted feeling. And there was also the black and white sandworm that infested the house, and Beetlejuice's entire set in his world was very textured in order to give it that haunted, rotting feeling. And there was also another set that was used in Beetlejuice's world, which was, for a shorter scene, the game show, where Beetlejuice says that he's going to kill everybody and make a whole game show out of it. Corns used a lot of references to Tim Burton in his set design, so here are a few of those instances. The opening scene of Beetlejuice the Musical is in a graveyard, and the hills that you can see in the foreground are related to one of Tim Burton's works. They are textured with the claymation aesthetic in mind of Nightmare Before Christmas, and David Corns just really wanted to say to the audience in the very beginning of the play that he knew Tim Burton's work and he appreciated it and was trying to stay as true to it as possible so that the audience can really appreciate that. Another ode to Burton is that the wallpaper in the Maitland's house has like a little flower design, and that's actually inspired by a tiny illustration that Tim Burton did, but David Corns amped it up to a very large scale and put it as a wallpaper, and then they hand drew over every little flower to give all the architecture a feeling of a Tim Burton sketch. In reference to the movie Beetlejuice, the painting above the mantle in the Maitland's home is one of the establishing shots that Corns took directly from the movie so that they always had a piece of the movie in the play. A final reference is the chandelier in Beetlejuice's world is actually inspired by the bow tie of Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. In a cross-section of the house, we can see the tremendous amount of detail put into this set. Not only did they design a cross-section of the house that you can only see for a brief moment or two, if that, but the amount of detail they put into it is astounding. You can see insulation, newspapers, cobwebs, all the things that you would kind of expect to see inside of the walls of a house, but then you also see a bottle of alcohol, a can of oysters, even a message in a bottle added to build character of the house. These are the little details that most people will never see, and if you do, it's only for a brief moment, but it will help the audience understand how hard they worked to bring the set to life. To conclude, David Corns is an excellent set designer who got inspiration from the work of Tim Burton and brought it to life on the set of Beetlejuice the Musical. He put extraordinary effort into making the set truthful to the work of Tim Burton, and used intricate details and specific color palettes to enhance the viewing experience of the audience. Thank you.